the last topic we did was ionization energy. Today we are going to discuss the next property, which is electron gain enthalpy. It is also known as electron affinity. Okay, affinity means love, attraction. So electron affinity means love for the electrons. When we talking of electron gain enthalpy, we say that it is the energy released when an electron is added to an isolated gaseous atom. When an electron is added to an isolated gaseous atom. Now, as we are using the word over here, energy released, therefore we can say that the electron gain enthalpy, that is going to be measured as a negative value, okay, because over here the energy is released. Therefore we say that more the negative value, greater is the electron enthalpy, greater the electron gain enthalpy, and more easily the electron that is going to be added. Okay, so if for example we are taking an atom, adding one electron to it for the production of an anion, right? So delta G over here, that is going to be the electron gain enthalpy, and this is always negative. ठीक है? फिर उसके बाद electron gain enthalpy is also measured just like ionization energy. We were measuring in electron volts. We have already done the conversion of this. So electron gain enthalpy can be measured in electron volts. It can be measured as kilojoules per mole. It can also be measured as kilocalories per mole. Right? So these are the units how we are going to measure the electron gain enthalpy. Now, depending upon the nature of the element, whenever we are adding any electron to an element, so depending upon the nature, the process of addition of an electron may be exothermic, mostly it is exothermic, but sometimes the process may also be endothermic, which means that when we are adding an electron, at the same time we are providing energy from outside in order to add that electron. Okay, mostly the addition of an electron, that is an exothermic process, but sometimes the electron that is added with the help of addition of energy. Okay, now whenever the process is exothermic, or we are saying that whenever energy is released, okay, whenever energy is released, it is known, the process that is known as exoergic. Whenever we are adding an electron and the energy is released, the process that is known as what? It is known as exoergic, and therefore the enthalpy or delta H for such reactions, that is going to be negative. Okay, for example, we are taking chlorine in the gaseous state. We are adding one electron to give us Cl negative, and delta H for such reaction, that is known as the electron gain enthalpy, that is minus 349 kilojoules per mole. Minus 349 kilojoules per mole. This is the highest value of electron gain enthalpy of any element. So we say that chlorine, it has the highest value of electron gain enthalpy in the entire periodic table. Clear? Now, when we are talking of electron gain enthalpy, we say that whenever the value of electron gain enthalpy that is going to be high, the electrons can be easily added. And if the value of electron gain enthalpy is low, the electrons will be added with difficulty. Okay, so more the energy is released by adding an electron, more easily the electron can fit into the orbit of the particular atom. Okay, फिर उसके बाद when we talking of two terms over here, as I have written in the heading, electron gain enthalpy and electron affinity. Both these terms, although they are same, but there is a slight numeric difference between the two. We say that electron gain enthalpy is higher than electron gain enthalpy is greater than electron affinity. Okay, and the factor by which it is greater, that is equal to 5 by 2 RT. This is the factor by which the electron gain enthalpy that is higher than electron affinity. Okay, so we are saying that the electron gain enthalpy that is equal to minus electron affinity minus 5 by 2 RT. So this is the relationship given between the electron gain enthalpy and electron affinity. Is it clear? Okay. Then let's go on to the electron gain enthalpy of various elements in the periodic table. The first which we are going to discuss, the first one which we are going to discuss over here is the noble gases. We know that the noble gases, they have a complete octet, or in other words, we can say that they have fully filled electronic configuration, right? Now because they have fully filled electronic configuration, it becomes very difficult to add the electron, as there is going to be a lot of inter-electronic repulsions, and then there is no place for the electron to fit in, right? So for noble gases, we say that the electron gain enthalpy that has a positive value. बाकी सब में हम लोग नेगेटिव बोल रहे थे, यहाँ पे it is going to have a positive value. ठीक है? And then when we are talking of more stable electronic configurations like that of beryllium, beryllium has an electronic configuration of 1s2 2s2, right? Again over here, this is a fully filled electronic configuration. The electron gain enthalpy for beryllium, that is 0. Okay? In a similar manner, when we are talking of nitrogen, 1s2, 2s2, 2p3, half-filled electronic configuration. So either it has a very low negative value of electron gain enthalpy, or the electron gain enthalpy for nitrogen is also taken to be 0. Either it will have a very low value or it will have a 0 value. ठीक है? फिर उसके बाद, like we were talking of successive ionization energies. Successive ionization energy क्या थी? In which we required energy to remove the second electron. Okay. Now there is no particular concept of second electron gain enthalpy, right? Why? What is happening over here is that, for example, we are talking of halogens. Specifically, when we are talking of halogens, so in case of halogens, the electronic configuration, that is ns2np5. Okay, so when we are adding one electron to this, we say that they attain a noble gas configuration of ns2np6. Okay, so in this case, the electron gain enthalpy, that is going to be negative. Now if we wish to add one electron to this, okay, if we wish to add one electron to this, over here, because it is a fully filled orbital already, there is no place for the incoming electron, because these electrons, they are going to repel the incoming electron. So there is inter-electronic repulsions over here. So as a result of which, the value of delta H sometimes in this case may be positive. ठीक है. और like in case of oxygen, we are adding the second electron. So if we are taking oxygen, the electronic configuration is Ns2Np4. ठीक है. One electron we are adding over here to give us Ns2Np5, right? So delta H for this case, that is going to be negative. Now when we wish to add another electron to this, that electron can be added in order to complete the noble gas configuration, right? So the second successive electron gain enthalpy in this case, that is also going to be negative. ठीक है? Have you understood? Tendril, have you understood? Okay, so where are you? You're not here in class. ठीक है. फिर उसके बाद when we talking of the like if we're talking of this of the halogens, we are saying that the second electron gain enthalpy in this case, that is going to be positive, right? And when we talking of over here, in this case it will be negative. Why? Because it will attract the incoming electron with what? Easily, with an easy this thing, because it will it is going to go to the fully filled orbital configuration, right? फिर उसके बाद magnitude of electron gain enthalpy, that depends upon two things. When we talking of magnitude of electron gain enthalpy, that is going to depend on two things. The first one, that is size of atoms. Size of atoms. It is but obvious if the size of the atoms that is going to be small, then what will happen? The nucleus will be closer to the outermost shell, as a result of which the incoming electron that would be gracefully accepted. ठीक है? So if the size of the atom is small, greater is the negative value of electron gain enthalpy. Okay? So we can say that smaller the size, more is the value of electron gain enthalpy. When we are using the term more over here, it means that more negative, because we are measuring electron gain enthalpy in terms of negative charge. ठीक है? फिर उसके बाद second, it depends, the magnitude depends upon nuclear charge, right? So nuclear charge पे क्या होता है? Greater the nuclear charge, more effectively will it attract the incoming electron, right? And more is going to be the value of electron gain enthalpy. So we say greater the nuclear charge, more is electron gain enthalpy, right? So जब हम लोग size of atoms कर रहे हैं, तो we can say that size of atoms is inversely proportional to electron gain enthalpy. Smaller the size, larger is going to be the value of electron gain enthalpy. ठीक है? And if we're talking of nuclear charge is directly proportional to electron gain enthalpy. ठीक है? So greater the charge, greater the nuclear charge, greater is going to be the value of electron gain enthalpy. Then third factor is electronic configuration. Electronic configuration. When we are talking of electronic configuration, we have already discussed over here that elements having stable electronic configuration, whether it is fully filled or it is half filled, they have very less tendency to accept electrons. Okay, so fully filled has no tendency at all, and half filled have very less tendency to accept electrons. Therefore, the electron gain enthalpy for this is either 0 or positive. So 0 we have discussed over here for beryllium and nitrogen, the electron gain enthalpy that is going to be 0, and for noble gases the electron gain enthalpy that is positive. ठीक है? Now, when we're talking of electron gain enthalpy, let's see the variation along a period and down the group. Variation of electron gain enthalpy. Now, let's study the variation first along a period. When we're talking of electron gain enthalpy along a period, we say in general the electron gain enthalpy that keeps on becoming more negative. Along a period, it will keep on becoming more negative, right? Although there are certain, you can say, irregularities which are observed over here. So let's see the period. The elements in the period, we have lithium, we have beryllium, then we have boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen and fluorine, and then the noble gases, right? Now when we're going from lithium to beryllium, the electron gain enthalpy that is going to decrease. Because for beryllium we are saying that the electron gain enthalpy, that is how much? It is 0. Okay, so the negative value over here, it is going to decrease due to fully filled electronic configuration. So when we go from beryllium to boron, it becomes more negative. Boron to carbon, it becomes more negative. Then from carbon to nitrogen, again it is going to decrease. Okay, because of half filled electronic configuration in case of nitrogen. Then from nitrogen to oxygen, again it will become more negative. Oxygen to fluorine, it will become more negative. And in case of neon, it is going to become positive again. Okay, so these arrows which we are using over here, the greater than and smaller than sign, that is, we are taking into consideration the negative value of electron gain enthalpy. Okay, so over here we are considering the negative value. So when we are comparing beryllium and lithium that is going to have a more negative value than beryllium. ठीक है, फिर beryllium का 0 आ गया, फिर boron का more negative, कार्बन का उससे ज्यादा नेगेटिव, फिर नाइट्रोजन का 0 आ गया, फिर ऑक्सीजन का और ज्यादा नेगेटिव, फ्लोरीन का और ज्यादा नेगेटिव और नियोन का फिर पॉजिटिव आ जाता है. ठीक है, so this is how we are saying that along the period this is going to be the trend. Now when we are going down the group, the electron gain enthalpies keep on becoming less negative Why? Because of increase in size. A new principal shell is introduced. As a result, the incoming electron has to enter the new principal shell, which is very you can say very meagerly attracted by the nucleus. Okay, because it is not attracted by the nucleus with a great force, therefore the incoming electron that is not welcome inside the new principal shell. So when we are going down the group, in general we say that electron gain enthalpy that is going to keep on becoming less negative. But now here also there are certain irregular behaviors. The first one is that oxygen, it has a lower value of electron gain enthalpy than sulfur. Although what should be there? Oxygen being the first member of the group, it should have the highest value of electron gain enthalpy due to small size. Okay, but we are saying that oxygen has lesser value of electron gain enthalpy than sulfur. The reason behind this is what? That the size of oxygen is very small. Okay, and when we are talking of electronic configuration of oxygen, we know that the electronic configuration of oxygen that is going to be 2s2 2p4, right? The size of this orbit, that is 2p, it is very small, and already there are 4 electrons present in that small circumference, as a result of which the incoming electron that is going to be repelled. Okay, so over here we say that there are inter-electronic repulsions. ठीक है? Due to inter-electronic repulsions, the incoming electron that is not welcome. Same is the case which is happening when we are traveling from fluorine to chlorine. Okay? So over here also, although fluorine being the smallest in size should have the highest negative electron gain enthalpy, but chlorine has more negative electron gain enthalpy than fluorine. The reason is going to be same, right? It has a small size, electronic configuration in this case that is going to be 2s2, 2p5, 5 electrons adjusted in a very small circumference. As a result, they do not welcome the incoming electron, and here also inter-electronic repulsions are going to take place. ठीक है? Inter-electronic repulsions are taking place. Alright, now when we want to compare all these four, generally what you will see is that when you're going to do the assignment of this chapter, mostly you're going to get questions in which you have to tick mark the correct trend. Okay, increasing ionization energy or decreasing electron gain enthalpy. So this thing would be, your answers would be given in this form. So you have to answer or you have to tick the correct option. Okay? In your boards you can get reasoning questions like this. Why oxygen has a lower value of negative electron gain enthalpy, or why fluorine has a lower value of electron gain enthalpy. So these are the type of questions which you can expect in your examination. Okay? Now if we are comparing the electron gain enthalpies of oxygen, sulfur, fluorine and chlorine, let's just go to their positions in the periodic table. Oxygen is here, ऑक्सीजन के नीचे सल्फर, ठीक है, और उसी तरह से फ्लोरीन, और फ्लोरीन के नीचे क्लोरीन, right? So they are now saying that arrange them in order of increasing electron gain enthalpies. So सबसे जो ज़्यादा electron gain enthalpy है, that is of fluorine, right? फिर उसके बाद आ जाएगी फ्लोरीन, फ्लोरीन के बाद सल्फर, and सल्फर के बाद ऑक्सीजन. So it basically forms a kind of an opposite end over here. ठीक है? So this is going to be the trend for electron gain enthalpies along a group. Right? Is it clear? Okay. So इसमें now you just put down one point. Electron gain enthalpies of, right now, electron gain enthalpies of some of the members of, although we've discussed this already, some of the members of alkaline earth metals, noble gases and nitrogen may be 0 or positive. ठीक है? Now when we are talking of all of these, we again come to one point over here. What is that point? We say that the halogens have the highest value of electron gain enthalpies in the periodic table. They have the highest values of electron gain enthalpies in the periodic table. What can be the reasons to this? The first reason to this is the small size of the halogens. In the periodic table, halogens, they have the smallest size, right? Because of small size, the incoming electron that is attracted with more force by the nucleus, and hence it is easy to introduce an electron in the halogens, right? Thereby giving a negative value of electron gain enthalpy. And second, it has high nuclear charge. It has high nuclear charge. ठीक है? Again, high nuclear charge that is going to facilitate the attraction towards the incoming electron. Okay? And third is its electronic configuration, which is Ns2 Np5. So they need only one electron to enter or one electron to fulfill their nearest noble gas configuration or fulfill their octet. So they easily welcome the incoming electron. Okay? So these are the reasons. Now what is the importance of electron gain enthalpy? Let's see. Importance of electron gain enthalpy. Number one, there are certain properties which can be predicted by the values of electron gain enthalpies, right? So we are saying if the value of electron gain enthalpy that is high, then they are capable of accepting electrons. This we have been studying. They are capable of accepting electrons. Okay? If they are capable of accepting electrons, such elements, they are going to be more electronegative in nature. Okay? They are going to be more electronegative in nature because they have a tendency of accepting electrons. Then number two, the elements having high values of electron gain enthalpy, they behave as, if they have high values of electron gain enthalpy, they behave as good oxidizing agents. Right? They are going to behave as good oxidizing agents, and fluorine, that is the best oxidizing agent. Right? Although the value of fluorine is more, but we will study later why fluorine is the best oxidizing agent, but high value will lead to better oxidizing agents. Right? Now we studied two properties. The first one which we studied in our previous lecture, that was ionization energy. And the second one we studied is electron gain enthalpy. Okay, we have studied that ionization energy, it has a positive value, whereas electron gain enthalpy, it has a negative value. Depending upon this, the values of both, we can also predict various characters of the elements of the periodic table. Okay? So what are the points which we can remember over here? Depending upon the values of ionization energy and electron gain enthalpy, we say that metallic character increases along a period. Metallic character decreases along a period. Okay? And metallic character increases down the loop. Depending upon this, we say that fluorine is the most non-metallic, whereas cesium, that is the most metallic. Okay? So fluorine, that is going to be the most non-metallic, and cesium, that is going to be most metallic. Then second thing, we talk of stability, right? We say that stability of metal increases along a period. Along a period, if we are moving, then stability of metal increases along a period and it decreases down the loop. Right? Now we know that stability, that is inversely proportional to reactivity. If anything which is stable, that is going to be less reactive. So when we are talking of reactivity of metals, so reactivity of metals that is going to decrease along the period, and reactivity of metals that is going to increase down the road. Right? So if you're talking of alkali metals over here, then lithium that is going to be the most stable and cesium that is going to be the most reactive. समझ आ गया? Okay. फिर उसके बाद the third thing which we can discuss over here is the third thing which we are discussing over here is the basic character of oxides. Basic character of oxides. Okay, so we are saying that the basic character of oxides, that is decreasing along the period, and basic character of oxides increases down the road. In general, you should remember that all the metallic oxides, they are basic in nature, right? And all the non-metallic oxides, they are acidic in nature. Okay? So metallic oxides are basic, whereas non-metallic oxides are acidic. So if you're going from left to right, the basic character of oxides will decrease, whereas the acidic character that is going to increase. Okay? And if you're going down the group, the basic character will increase and the acidic character that will decrease. Okay? So this is all about electron gain enthalpy. The next property which we are going to discuss is electronegativity. So next is electronegativity. What is electronegativity? Electronegativity is the tendency of an element to attract the shared pair of electrons towards itself. Okay? So over here we are saying that it is tendency of an element to attract shared pair of electrons. So this is the word which we are using over here, shared pair of electrons. So basically when we are talking of electronegativity, then this is a property of an element in the bonded state. Whenever an element is forming a covalent bond, so it is going to, whichever elements attract the shared pair of electron towards itself, that is going to be more electronegative. As for example, we are taking HF, right? Over here it is seen that fluorine that attracts the shared pair of electrons. As a result of which fluorine, it gets a slight negative charge and hydrogen gets a slight negative charge. So fluorine over here, that is going to be electronegative. But mind it that when we are talking of electron gain enthalpy, over there also attraction of electrons we talked of. Okay? But over there, that is the individual property of every element. For that, in order to show electron gain enthalpy, bonding is not essential. But when we are talking of electron negativity, the bonding that is going to be essential over here. Right? So bonded pair को क्योंकि वो share कर रहा है, so bonding is very very important. Okay. Now this concept of electron negativity that was given by Pauling in the year 1932. Right? And he assigned a number 4 to the most electronegative element. To the most electronegative element of the periodic table, which is fluorine. which is fluorine. ठीक है? Now what are the factors which are going to affect electronegativity? Number one, hybridization. Hybridization that affects electronegativity. We say that more the S character, more is going to be the electronegativity, right? So we say more the S character, more is the electronegativity. So taking this into as a rule, what we can say is that sp hybridized orbitals or all the compounds showing sp hybridization, that is going to be more electronegative than the one which is showing sp2, then the one which is showing sp3. So this kind of a question can come to you, like they have given us CH3, CH double bond, CH, C triple bond, CH. Okay, and they number the carbon atoms. Say this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4 and this is 5, right? And they are saying arrange them in order of increasing electronegativities. ठीक है? So इसमें if you can see over here CH3, that is going to be sp3 hybridized, so this is going to be least electronegative. ठीक है? फिर उसके बाद 2 is sp2, 3 is also sp2, so 2 is equal to 3, and then 4 is sp and 5 is also sp. Sorry. 4 is equal to 5. So this is how the question can be taken care of. Okay. Then second factor on which electronegativity depends, that is the oxidation state. Oxidation state. If we are comparing the same element with different oxidation states, then the element with higher oxidation number is more electronegative. ठीक है? जैसे for example, we are comparing Fe3 positive and we are comparing Fe2 positive. The one with higher oxidation state, that is going to be more electronegative. ठीक है? So Fe3 is more electronegative than Fe2 positive. The electronegativity of Fe3 positive, that is 1.96, and the electronegativity of Fe2 positive, that is 1.83. ठीक है? क्लियर हो गया? ओके. फिर उसके बाद ट्रेंड्स जब हम इसके करें, when we are going along a period we say that the tendency to attract electrons increases. Or in other words, electronegativity will keep on increasing along a period, and down the group the electronegativity that will decrease. Right? Keeping this in mind, we say that fluorine is the most electronegative element of the periodic table, and the second most electronegative element is oxygen. Right? So this is how we can show the trends. Now there's another thing which we need to do over here, that is the measurement of electronegativity. Calculations of electronegativity. There are two scales to calculate the electronegativities. The first one, that is known as the Pauling scale. Pauling scale. ठीक है? Pauling scale क्या है? According to that, the electronegativity difference between two elements A and B, that can be given as 0.208 into under root of delta. ठीक है? Where this delta is calculated by taking into account the bond dissociation energies, right? So this is equal to, this delta is equal to the bond dissociation energy of AB minus half of bond dissociation energies of AA plus plus bond dissociation energies of BB. ठीक है? So in order to calculate the electronegativity difference, we first calculate delta, and then this is the formula to calculate the electronegativity. Is it clear? Then we have the second scale, which is the Mulliken scale. According to the Mulliken scale, the electronegativity that is equal to the average of ionization potential and electron affinity. So ionization potential plus electron affinity divided by 2, that gives us the electronegativity according to Mulliken. Right? Now in case it was found that Mulliken values were 2.8 times greater than Pauling values. Okay, so 2.8 times greater means what? Then electronegativity according to this in the Pauling scale should be what? The electronegativity in the Pauling scale, that should be equal to IP plus electron affinity 2 into 2.8. ठीक है? So this can be written as is equal to IP plus electron affinity upon 5.6. ठीक है? Now if we are calculating this in kilocalories per mole, then you multiply the denominator by 23.06. ठीक है? So अगर we are calculating this in kilocalories per mole, then in that case the electronegativity that becomes IP plus electron affinity upon 2 into 2.8 into 23.06. This is the formula, right? और अगर किलो जूल्स में करना है तो then we multiply 2 with 96.48. So in kilojoules per mole it is given by ionization potential plus electron affinity upon 2 into 96.48. ठीक है? So these you can calculate in various values, in various units, right? Now electronegativity are very high for small sized molecules. This we have already discussed. That smaller the size, greater is going to be the electronegativity, and larger the size, lesser is going to be the electronegativity. Okay. Now what is the importance of electronegativity? Why electronegativity is required? Right? Now when we are doing the importance of electronegativity, it predicts the type of bonding, which is very important. Okay? So first, if we are saying that the electronegativity difference, that is 0, the bond that is going to be purely covalent. Right? As in the cases of hydrogen, chlorine, bromine, iodine, etc. Right? So wherever homoatomic molecules are going to be present, that they have the same kind of elements present or same kind of atoms present, the electronegativity difference is going to be 0. So the bond that is going to be purely covalent. Right? And if the electronegativity difference that is small, okay, that is very small, in that case the bond is polar covalent, as in the case of HCl or as in the case of HI. ठीक है, over here chlorine being more electronegative, it is going to attract the shared pair of electrons towards itself. As a result, a dipole that is created, which we will do in detail in the next chapter also. So a dipole is created over here. There are two different charges. So such bonds which are actually covalent, but still they develop charges on the elements due to electronegativity difference, they are known as polar covalent bonds. Okay. Third, if the XA-XB difference that is equal to 1.9, right? 1.7 or 1, in certain books it is written 1.7, in certain books it is written 1.9. Okay, so if the electronegativity difference that is 1.9, then the bond is 50% covalent and 50% ionic. ठीक है? And if the electronegativity difference is greater than 1.9, in that case the bond is predominantly ionic. It is predominantly ionic, right? So this is the first importance by which we can predict the kind of bonding which is present in the molecules. The second one is that elements having low values of electronegativity. We have already discussed this, that all those which will have low values of electronegativities, they are going to be metals. And all those having high values of electronegativities, they are going to be non-metals. Okay? Is it clear? So what did we say? That fluorine, that is the most electronegative element of the periodic table, and cesium is the least electronegative element of the periodic table, right? And then oxides also, this also tells us about the nature of oxides. Electronegativity difference tells us about the nature of oxides. If the electronegativity difference between oxygen and the atom with which oxygen is forming oxides, that is large, okay? If the electronegativity difference is large, the oxide that is going to be basic in nature. Okay? As for example, Na2O. There is a lot of difference between electronegativity over here. So therefore, the oxide that is basic in nature, and in a similar manner, if the electronegativity difference that is small, then this is going to be acidic in nature. Okay? As for example, sulfur dioxide. The electronegativity difference between sulfur and oxygen is less, very, very less. Therefore, this is going to behave as an acid. Clear? So today we are going to go to do only till here. A small portion of this chapter is left, which we will finish in the next lecture, and then we start with chapter number 4. Okay?